looks like TT1 is actually pushing into the high yield right now. Those Guardian Shields very effective at protecting those Stalkers, and especially that Immortal. KawaiiRice has nothing to counter that Immortal right now, and he's just raining death on these Marines and these Marauders. But it looks like KawaiiRice actually able to hold that off. Those Marauders so effective against the Stalker, and an expansion going down at the 12 o'clock position for KawaiiRice.
Yep, and KawaiiRice actually did have these 2 Marauders and 2 Marines in TT1's old base idling for a couple of minutes, which I don't actually quite agree with, because he could have used those units to take out the gateways, which are actually now active, in conjunction with another cybernetics core going up. So if KawaiiRice actually did take that out, it wouldn't let TT1 be able to reinforce his army as he will be able to soon.
Yeah, and he's looks like TT1 is now going back into KawaiiRice's expansion here down at the high yield. Not too many anti-air units though right now, so if KawaiiRice can lift off, that would be a good job. And now, like you're saying, these 2 Marines and 2 Marauders are just sitting inside of TT1's base, not going after those pylons, which will shut down those gateways and allow TT1 to not reinforce his army anymore. So I'm not too sure why he is not doing that. He is just now doing it, but he's got to be careful because a couple Stalkers can really reinforce his position.
Now those 3 gateways that were in TT1's base previously are the only unit producing buildings TT1 actually has at the moment. So if KawaiiRice can actually take those gateways out, apply some decent pressure on TT1, he should be able to stop any aggression occurring.
Yeah, it's actually a very tight race right now because we're checking out the income tab. KawaiiRice is so far behind in the income just because a lot of his SCVs basically didn't even leave. They kind of sat there and just took a beating earlier in the game, and TT1 was able to get his workers out and get his income. Right now it's sitting at 800, and KawaiiRice is sitting at only 60 just because he had to he only has 4 SCVs right now, and only 3 of them are actually mining. This is a very crazy game right now. KawaiiRice is cleaning up those gateways up at TT1's original base.
And KawaiiRice just losing his factory after floating it off into the top right corner.
Yeah, that went kaboom. And TT1 here, he is getting his gateways back. He's able to establish a base of operations now, where KawaiiRice has, and it looks like they just did a base swap, which is, you don't see a lot of these base swaps anymore, but it is pretty awesome when it happens. And when it happens like this, where both players are kind of holding on and don't want to make too many mistakes, because one little tiny mistake and it will cost you the game.
Now TT1 is throwing up another Nexus. Sorry about that. I actually got a phone call, so I had to run off for a bit.
Yep, it looks like he is choosing to grab an expansion, which is kind of interesting right now. Oh wait, a Viking for KawaiiRice going to the production tab. I need to see what's going on here. A Twilight Council actually going down for TT1 right now, and it just got done completing, and it looks like the charge is being researched for those zealots, so they'll be able to get nice and close to those Marines and Marauders, get up nice and close and comfortable and personal, and chop them on up.
Now TT1 is pushing into KawaiiRice's base, and he should be able to snipe out this barracks, or not. Choosing to go for the mirror line instead, with only about 5 or so SCVs. Now the barracks does get taken out, and KawaiiRice is basically not doing anything at all. Choosing to actually, yeah, those are his only unit producing buildings. So once the starport gets taken out, and this barrack should be able to get away, but the orbital command is most likely going to go down.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. KawaiiRice actually opting out not to attack, and he's actually going toward TT1's base. And these Vikings, or these Zealots, trying to be heroic, not going to do too much as they are getting chopped up into pieces. But yeah, like you said, the orbital command, it looks like it will be going down. It is on fire now, and with all that extra sentry and stalker fire, it should go down even quicker. He's got to get an SCV over here quickly, but no, that's not going to happen. Anyways, KawaiiRice is finishing up an attack on TT1's base right now, trying to clean up, take out a lot of these pylons to depower the Protoss base.
actually do believe if TT1, instead of falling back to his base, actually initiated a base race going for KawaiiRice's expansion at the 12 o'clock, he should have been able to take out all the buildings before KawaiiRice was able to clean up his base, seeing though he did have one expansion up slightly north of his main base, as well as one going up in the northwest corner, which is halfway done.
Yeah, and on top of that, it looks like KawaiiRice again picked up his units in his medevacs and ran away. I'm surprised he didn't actually pick up his SCVs, which he's allowing to get run down by those charging zealots. Poor SCV is going to get all kind of messed up here. The medevac's going off to drop into TT1's expansion and try to do some more economic damage, but he needs to get the heck out of Dodge because I don't know if he can handle those stalkers and immortals.
Yeah, but I think if KawaiiRice actually landed that barracks down at the high yield earlier, he should be able to get a couple more units out to reinforce, but only just landing it now and still not building any more units. At the moment he only has another barracks in construction, a tech lab and an SCV. So he's not going to be able to get enough units out to defend basically his only base left, and it's not looking too good for KawaiiRice.
Yeah, KawaiiRice actually only having a few Marines at his expansion, and in his medevac, he's only got one medevac with a Marauder and 2 Marines. Actually 2 medevacs, but only one of them is actually loaded. And I believe he knows that the Observer is following him because he's doing a little dance around him. But yeah, it doesn't look too good for KawaiiRice. He's actually producing Marines out of that barracks at the high yield expansion. Income tab wise, yeah, TT1 has a slight mineral advantage. The gas is about the same. He's definitely got the harvester count advantage though. But yeah, it just those gateways just getting powered up by that one pylon, so not looking too good for KawaiiRice.
I think if TT1 actually placed a pylon just on the high ledge above KawaiiRice's base, he should be able to reinforce his army when he actually chooses to push out. That would give him the slight edge, as seeing as though KawaiiRice is already down on the unit production, TT1 can actually just completely overwhelm KawaiiRice at the moment.
Yeah, and this is one of those things in StarCraft where decisions in early part of the game actually affect you in the late part. And we can see right now is what TT1's allowing KawaiiRice to do is actually macroing up here. I mean, he's got 4 barracks in his expansion. He's got 1 in the high yield, and it's incredible that TT1 is actually allowing KawaiiRice to macro up. I mean, he's got 2 buildings with tech labs. He's producing a lot of Marauders and Marines. He's able to reinforce, but TT1 actually did scout with that probe, and now he is moving his force, and they're on the doorstep now of KawaiiRice's expansion.
Now KawaiiRice does bring back his 2 medevacs and unload what little units they actually did carry. But at the moment, if TT1 actually does choose to push in, I don't think KawaiiRice actually has enough units to be able to defend his base.
Yeah, KawaiiRice is definitely going to pull off his workers off the line and just cause that SCV wall so they can take some damage. But here comes the Immortal, handful of Zealots, a lot of Stalkers, and yeah, like you said, those charging Zealots, I don't know how he's going to be able to do that. Sniping off the tech lab though, good job, as you see the workers coming in but backing back off. And we'll probably see a little bit of a dance here for a little while. Barracks floating over the expansion, not too sure what's going on there, but that's what it's doing. KawaiiRice replacing that tech lab, and again TT1 backing off. I agree with you, Crucius. I think if he pushes it now, he can do a lot of damage, although there's a lot of Marauders now, so TT1's actually allowed himself to kind of question his ability to win this game now.
Yep, and with KawaiiRice's barracks floating around TT1's main base, he does spot one Stargate on the right side, but what he